Good evening. This is That One Guy broadcasting from sunny Holland. In the dying days of 0.17.1, I've done it. I've created an SSTO. Let's take a look, shall we? I would like to thank everybody else who's made SSTOs that, well, to be totally honest, I basically just picked and selected from all of the designs that worked and kind of mashed them together into one working design, because that's how reverse engineering works. So we've got our original flight crew, and if we take a look, we've got a hybrid craft. We're going to go ahead and put on the parking brakes like that. We're going to throttle up, hit T, hit caps lock, and we're good to go. Now hopefully this launch goes well. I've had some issues with getting off the ground, but not enough to postpone the launch. So, in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Yeah, that built up a lot faster than I thought it would. Anyways, this craft generates an insane amount of lift, and by insane, I mean decent. It has enough fuel to get into a 300 kilometer by 300 kilometer orbit, and it pretty much needs the entire runway to take off. Like that. And up we get. Has this problem too. It doesn't really respond too well to extreme changes in its heading when you first get off the runway. But you know what? Whatever. It's a space plane. It's a single stage to orbit, which, as far as I know, the only qualification for that is everything that goes up comes back down. All you really need to do is just refuel it, and it's good to go again. So right now, what we've got going on is the jet engines are burning. When we get to 10 kilometers, I'm going to go ahead and light the rockets, and we're going to get this party started right. So I'm going to go ahead and put some music on for our ascent. Alright, we've entered into a sustainable orbit. That is to say, if I were to shut off the engines right now, we would continue to be in orbit until I deorbited. As you see, we have this fuel tank and this fuel tank left. And let's take a look at how we're doing on our apoapsis. Ideally, I'd like to get out to 300 kilometers, as that is what I've determined as the ceiling for this craft. Simply because from there you can land with about 27 liters of fuel left. And I guess when 0.18 comes out, if I can rebuild this thing, give it docking, this could be a very functional craft if I put a refueling station in an orbit that was easier to get to. Alternatively, I could use these to slowly refuel that station so long as I had enough fuel to return to Kerbin. For example, if I put it at 300, if I put the refueling station at 300 kilometers, I would only be able to dump 25 liters of fuel. and that's simply because, and that's assuming before all the maneuvering and such like that I would need to do to approach the station. Probably my best bet would be a 250 kilometer above Kerbin station for a refueling station for this sort of thing. But as you see, all I really did was a nice slow burn until I got to my desired apoapsis with this craft. Now that makes it slightly more fuel efficient, and because I'm not trying to rendezvous with anything, all I really have to do is just achieve a very specific apoapsis, and just when I get out there, make up the delta V to make it a circle, and I think my delta V is somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 meters per second. So let's find out. Alright, and we're back. I am now in the stable orbit. Let's go ahead and take a look at what this thing looks like in flight. From the front, it looks pretty cool, a little bit like an SR-71 or something, a little less streamlined. From the side, it's weirdly like a space station wagon. And from the top, it looks, I don't know, it just looks. Before I wrap this up, I'd like to point out that I have almost a full fuel tank in this back fuel tank, but you're going to use all but 27 liters of it to get back down to Kerbin. This has been That One Guy. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.